Monoclonal antibodies become equitable. The narrative begins to shift away from COVID again, and Biden's tyrannical mandate faces massive pushback. All this and more tonight on Embers of Liberty.
Welcome to Embers of Liberty.
Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Inherently and historically oppose the secret society.
We, as Americans, have the capacity now, as we've had in the past,
long ago,
to do whatever needs to be done
and unwarranted
to preserve this last and greatest bastion of freedom.
Far outweigh the dangers
in this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Welcome back to Embers of Liberty, where everything's okay. They keep saying that word. I do not think that they realize that it does not mean that regardless, welcome back everybody. So, get right into it. Let's talk to Cody's not here, he's going to be late. That's fine. That's probably Cody. How's the week, Jeff? Well, I mean, almost like it doesn't matter because, you know, he's a child, he's healthy. Regardless of whether or not they have COVID, Or maybe it's because children are not We did not today. Ah, shit. I'm not following none but information. The ban was already played. Yeah, it was. That's almost close. So anyway, Rachel covered. Let's talk to you guys. Georgia is definitely Tennessee played a nobody. Not really. It's really just Alabama and Auburn. Anywho, I feel you, bro. I too feel like people answer sometimes mistakes. Hey, Buck, would you do me a solid and address that although, then again, thank God they didn't call this one, because that was going to be because here's the deal Okay, Beth, so we are going to Friday on a Colonial Anthem. So, the first two are So, if you don't know, monoclonal antibodies are very effective so regardless, the they're being used in places where when Biden did his mandate, he also said that the Yeah, it went completely away when you did that. You're going to have to re-select Joe's microphone.
Nope. Up the top where the name is. Right there.
Of course, I would say that we were having no technical difficulties.
No, just re-select the one that it was on. Hello. There we go.
Yep, it's back to normal.
Cool. All right. And no,
Excuse me.
not my tinfoil. Don't you insult my tinfoil, man.
The whole part of the show.
Well, I don't know. Let's just check that out. Because I know that it was fine.
All right, it's okay. We can move on.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Some dang aliens.
Alien. I was about to
This is aliens. Hey, nobody knew about it. It was all looking good earlier when we checked it out.
Well, I mean, that's
That may have been why we didn't have any viewers.
That's pretty
Now our
rough.
viewer ticker's going up.
pretty rough, dude.
Sorry, guys. We didn't know that was going on.
Okay, so probably the entire, all of what you said didn't come through, but it's fine. We're just gonna roll.
They just roll on with the monoclonal antibodies.
So let's start this talk of monoclonal antibodies over again.
So monoclonal antibodies, they come out about the same time as the vaccine.
Well, so in case you're not aware, monoclonal antibodies are a very effective, very safe form of treatment for COVID-19. They're used widely in states that are experiencing spikes, which, right now includes states like Florida and Texas. And so basically what has happened is when Biden issued his mandates, he also said that the availability of monoclonal antibodies would be raised, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah, they were
well,
going to pump it up like by 50%.
Yeah, which is great. That's exactly what we needed.
Right.
And then literally days later, they decided that monoclonal antibody distribution should be equitable, which is stupid.
This is what happens when you put the government in charge of logistics.
First off, so they never should have been able to do what they've done. They should have never been able to make it about equity, because equity does not mean the same as equality, first off. Second off, equity is going to take doses away from those who need them,
Right.
to give them to states that don't need them.
Right. Like,
And-
Jen, we'll just let Jen
Yeah,
talk. You speak.
so let's go.
Oh, by the way, she has been upgraded from Jen Balsacki to Jen the Sacki.
The Saki.
Yes. She is not a ball sack.
I don't know
is
if it's-
the ball sack.
Oh, I
She's
get
the
it.
Sacki. Jen the Sacki.
Anyway, so let's just hear what Jen has to say about this. Can you just hit the play button? We'll we'll let it roll.
Efficacy of vaccines. I do have another question about the president's COVID plan. He promised on September 9th that he was going to send 50% more supply of monoclonal antibodies to states. Yet, the Biden administration is cutting supplies in red states by 50%. So, for example, in Florida, they were expecting to get 70,000 doses this week, which they say they need. They're only getting 30,000 doses. And this is not just for unvaccinated people. In South Florida, half the people who are seeking this treatment are fully vaccinated. So why is the Biden administration cutting these supplies?
That's not accurate. So let me give you the accurate information. First of all, we are increasing our distribution this month by 50%. In early August, we were distributing an average of 100,000 doses per week. Now we're shipping an average of 150,000 doses per week. Over the last month, though, and one thing that I think people need to understand for clarity, facts, I know you're like facts, is that monoclonal antibodies are life-saving therapies that are used after infection to prevent more severe outcomes. So clearly the way to protect people and save more lives is to get them vaccinated so that they don't get the COVID to begin with. But over the last month, given the rise in cases due to the Delta variant and the lower number of vaccination rates in some of these states, like Florida, like Texas, just 7 states are making up 70% of the orders. Our supply is not unlimited, and we believe it should be equitable across states.
There's that word.
There's been no reports of a lack of supply, so why cut them to those states only if there's no reports
I
of
think our role as the government overseeing the entire country is to be equitable in how we distribute. We're not going to give a greater percentage to Florida over Oklahoma, nor do I think are you suggesting that. I think we have to move on. Go ahead, Yamiche.
Thanks so much, Jen. One question.
Holy shit. Okay. So
Creating memes.
What?
That's what I was talking about.
I'm sorry, what? We're not going to give a greater percentage to a state that has a greater percentage of people that need the treatment.
Yeah. She the Sacky, man. She the Sacky. She the dumb Sacky.
I'm sorry, are you fucking retarded?
Yeah, she is. She's stupid.
Why would you take treatments away from a place that is experiencing a increased need for those treatments and give them to a place like, I don't know, Oklahoma or New York,
It has
who's
like 2 people living there.
not experiencing an increased need for monoclonal antibodies?
Because, Justin, it's equitable. Well, see, this is why you don't put the government in charge of things, because they waste money.
But
that's the reason why. That's the reason why NASA is a failure, and why Elon Musk is doing so much better than NASA, because the government sucks at managing money. And
equity.
resources.
It's all about equity, man. Trust the plan.
F the plan.
Get vaccinated. Like, I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot like
Socialism.
Communism.
Communism. Yeah.
Because the government has now taken over distribution of these monoclonal antibodies.
Yep.
And it said, I don't care how many you need. This is how many you're getting.
Yep. And then they're saying, oh, well, if you get vaccinated.
First off, I don't want the fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
And second off, it doesn't stop me from getting COVID. It's not working.
Well, here's the thing.
You fucking idiots.
You know the reason why there's not a lot of monoclonal antibody treatments? Because there hasn't been a demand, because nobody freaking knows about it until now.
No. People knew about it.
Yeah, but people
No. Shh. Let me finish. They knew about it because Trump took monoclonal antibodies when he had COVID,
right,
while he was the president of the United States. But because Trump did it, we can't talk about it.
Exactly.
Can't talk about that.
I'm saying the regular folks.
Nobody can know that monoclonal antibodies are a potential treatment for COVID. Nobody can know.
Yeah, people knew.
Excuse me.
The average man didn't know.
Excuse me. Have you heard about the monoclonal antibodies? I don't think they're from COVID per se. I think they come from the mono and the clonal. But they're tremendous success. They're helping us recover greatly and strongly.
There's not enough whiskey in this glass.
And frankly, if you disagree with the monoclonal antibodies, you are fake news. Anyway, I'm done with that now. So
You are fake news.
like, let me just explain this real simply. Supply and demand matter. Supply and demand are, I don't know, facts of life.
Yes.
It applies to all kinds of things. It drives the price of homes. It drives the pricing of cars. It drives the pricing of milk. It literally matters when something is in heavy demand because the supply needs to meet that demand.
Right.
If you take over the supply to make it equitable, now demand has no impact on the supply. Because it doesn't matter what the demand is, you're getting this many. Okay? This is stupid. This is... I can't say what else it is because I'm probably already on an extremist watch list.
What does it rhyme with?
It's a complete failure. This government is a fucking failure. Okay? Can we just like wipe the board clean, start over? Is that an option? Oh, it is. The Constitution says it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we the people.
It's time to get the pig.
It's time to get the pig. Joe got the pig. Anyway, so, of course, this directly impacts the state of Florida. Therefore, you just got to let his back legs hang out, Joe. The back legs just got to hang out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because you can't see the pig's face if the back legs are not hanging out. Anywho, I feel so weird because there's nobody watching. And I don't like it. Where's Matt?
Where's anybody? We don't even have Cody.
Where is anybody at? There's nobody here.
They're watching football, man, I'm telling you.
And it freaking sucks. Frankly, it's disappointing.
We got up to like 4 people, then they went away.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm one of them. I've got it pulled up just to keep an eye on the viewer count, but regardless. Anyway, so this monoclonal antibody thing, it absolutely impacts Florida more than it impacts other places.
Right.
So naturally, Joe Biden's archenemy, Ron DeSantis, has made an appearance. And he has...
Ron Death Santis?
Yes,
That's
Ron
what they're calling
Death
him.
Santis.
That's what they're calling him
because
now.
apparently,
he wants everybody to get COVID.
he wants everybody to get COVID or die.
Not
except
really.
for, okay, so here's the thing. Like, all the things that you said that Trump was doing, Joe Biden is actually doing.
Yeah. What they were saying that
like-
Trump was going to do and never did, Joe Biden's actually doing.
Yeah, because they're hypocrites. So
You know what gets
anyway,
me the most? So this whole time, when the vaccine first come out, right?
Hold on. You're getting off topic.
No,
Save it.
no, we talked about the Joe Biden thing. I'm just saying
Let's
that,
continue on the DeSantis front
Okay,
first,
okay,
and then we can talk about what gets you at the end of it. Stay on topic for people that need us to stay on topic.
Well, they're not even watching.
I know, but they'll watch later. Like, I know the person that told me these things said that they were going to be at a wedding today, but they would watch it tomorrow after the fact. So it's
I
important
think live
that they are
viewers get
able
first
to.
opinion.
I don't.
There he is. It's the propes.
Anyway, so at least he didn't show up while we were having your stupid mic problems. So DeSantis, of course, had a clapback for Joe Biden. And Beth, if you would roll that beautiful bean footage. We need you to
Florida's
stop
governor
swapping screens
is
all
not
the
happy
time.
with the Biden administration and their takeover with the distribution of the monoclonal antibody treatments. Federal officials announced the change earlier this week, which they say will ensure every state gets a fair share of the life-saving COVID treatment. But as
Fair
Forrest Saunders
share.
reports tonight, Governor DeSantis is worried our state won't get enough.
Governor DeSantis back to butting heads with President Biden Thursday, this time over distribution of monoclonal antibodies.
There's going to be a huge disruption, and patients are going to suffer as a result of this.
It comes as Health and Human Services says hospitals and treatment sites can no longer order the COVID therapies directly. Instead, HHS returning to a pre-vaccine posture. It'll analyze need and send shipments to states to divide up. DeSantis calling it a raw deal and vowing to work directly with drug company GlaxoSmithKline to circumvent.
So why are we going back to pre-pandemic, whatever he said?
What did he say?
Roll back a little bit,
Go back a little bit. The arrow keys. Yep.
As a result of this.
It comes as Health and Human Services says hospitals and treatment sites can no longer order the COVID therapies directly. Instead, HHS returning to a pre-vaccine posture. It'll analyze need and send shipments to states to divide up. DeSantis calling it a raw deal and vowing to work directly with drug company GlaxoSmithKline to circumvent federal officials.
We're going to work like hell to make sure that we can overcome the obstacles that HHS and the Biden administration are putting in us.
The governor has opened 25 monoclonal sites in the Sunshine State. His office says Florida needs about 72,000 doses weekly to meet demand, but this week's allotment, about 31,000.
Our supply is not unlimited, and we believe it should be equitable.
The White House is defending the
There's
change,
that
saying it's
fucking
only
word
fair.
again.
Florida among 7 states that have accounted for 70% of recent monoclonal orders. Press Secretary Jen Psaki saying everyone deserves access to the nation's limited supply.
Our role as the government overseeing the entire country is to be equitable in how we distribute. We're not going to give a greater percentage to Florida over Oklahoma.
And beyond that, critics say DeSantis needs to stop treating monoclonals like a frontline protection. Some lawmakers and physicians continue urging more emphasis on virus mitigation and vaccines. They, too, prevent hospitalization and are in abundance across the nation. At the Capitol, Forrest Saunders, ABC Action News.
Okay, so I commend Ron DeSantis for his circumvention of the federal government to work with GlaxoSmithKline, because that's exactly how it should be working. The federal government is overreaching their authority, doing things that are not in their power, because you had a spike, go die. That's basically what the federal government is telling Florida. We don't care that you had a spike, let your people die. They're undesirables.
What did Jimmy Kimmel say? Go die, Wheezy, or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Something like that. They literally do not care about you. They don't care. Nobody in the federal government.
Hunger Games, man.
Nobody in the federal government gives a shit about you. They do not wish for you to exist. They want you to die.
It was funny how under Trump, everybody talked about how this is so dystopian and like the Hunger Games. It was literally nothing like the Hunger Games.
This is literally 10 times worse than it ever was under Trump.
This is so much closer to the Hunger Games than it ever was under Trump.
And I'm not talking like the deaths are worse. Like all the deaths are tragic.
All right.
Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, this is becoming less about COVID and more about liberty, which is what we're here for.
Right.
Like, to me, you mandating that I get the vaccine
Makes me want it less.
only makes me desire to get the vaccine even less than I already did.
And we're not anti-vaxxers.
We're not. Like, I'm fully vaccinated for everything. The only thing that I don't get a vaccine for is the flu and COVID.
Yep.
Because, every time I get the flu shot, I get sick, whether it's the flu or something else. I get sick.
And I'm willing to take the COVID vaccine eventually. I don't feel comfortable taking it right now.
At this point, I will never take it. I don't care.
Really?
I'd rather die with COVID than take a vaccine because somebody told me I had to.
I mean, part of me at this point is because it like the more they push it, the less I want it.
Exactly, and that's the point. But ultimately, what this boils down to is it's all political. It is all going to directly tell you, we don't care about your freedom. You're going to do as we say. And it's becoming less about health and more about politics every day. Every day that this goes on, where is the line? What line do we draw for COVID to get back to our normal life? Zero COVID? Because that's not going to happen. Even with vaccines, the last time we fully eradicated a disease, it took 40 to 50 years to fully eradicate it.
It's kind of funny.
I think smallpox.
You said draw the line. It's interesting because this week I saw where apparently deer have COVID now.
Yeah, that's another thing that I saw.
Like, where do we draw the damn line?
Yeah, be careful field dressing your kill because you might catch COVID from it.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you have to say anymore. Literally, nobody trusts the media anymore, which is why they doubled and tripled down on all of this stuff. And frankly, I don't even care anymore. Like, if you want the vaccine, cool.
Yeah. Like,
if you don't want the vaccine, cool.
Yeah. I don't care either way.
But
like, if you want to get it, I don't think you're a liberal just because you want to get the vaccine.
I also saw something very interesting this week about ivermectin. So,
you mean horse dewormer, Justin? Horse dewormer.
We will not associate those words
I'm joking.
with ivermectin on this show anymore.
Oh, by the way, since I listened to the podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast, right after his first one coming back from COVID. Yes, he did in fact confirm that his ivermectin prescription was from a doctor.
Well, yeah, because you have to get it prescribed to you by a doctor.
But the media is like, Joe Rogan bad.
Horse paste. Anyway, so the fact that, damn it, you made me lose my place. This is why I said we got to quit going off subject so much.
But it's not so much off subject. It's
relevant.
Not, but it's relevant.
Like where was I even going? I don't even know now.
You said you had an interesting thing about ivermectin.
Oh, so I saw something interesting about the fact that they won't authorize it with an emergency use authorization because in order to have an emergency use authorization, there has to be no other effective treatments. How about you don't need an emergency use authorization to prescribe something that has been proven to be effective against COVID through clinical data?
Yeah.
Like, because that's ivermectin. Like, ivermectin has been shown to decrease by like 3/4.
So that's why doctors are just prescribing it.
Yeah, because doctors actually follow the science.
Yeah.
Science doesn't follow the actual science.
Right.
Because it's science, not the science.
Yeah. Just like, according to Ben Shapiro, there's no research that's being done for kids having to wear masks.
Yeah, there's literally nothing that shows it's effective.
There's a video of a little girl crying on a plane because she's having a hard time breathing because she's got to wear a mask.
Yeah, because kids don't understand what the point is of wearing a mask. They just want to be able to live a normal life and be kids.
Yep. It's not about health. It's about control.
It absolutely is not about health anymore. It's about political control and being able to silence your political opponents. So I think we've covered the meat of this. So now we can kind of veer off and answer some questions or whatever. We're trying to maintain a little bit more.
We're not ignoring you. We're just we're trying to not so much attend to the comment section as much as we usually do, because we've had some people kind of give us some constructive criticism this week about how it kind of throws things off a little bit.
And I see where it goes.
Yeah.
Where for somebody who wants to really understand what we're talking about,
right,
it helps to actually stay on topic. Because once we start going off, it's all over the place, and we can't keep doing that.
I can understand that,
especially if we want this to grow, and that's the big thing. Like, I would love for this to grow. I'd love to be able to, do more episodes. Like, I fully anticipate doing an election coverage for the 2022 election.
And I would say that's going to probably be fairly laid back. It's pretty much just going to be
yeah, because we're going to be sitting around talking,
crap.
and there's a time and a place, and then we can have
pizza.
some members only exclusive shows or whatever
Yeah.
where we just talk to everybody instead of being focused on one thing or another. Here comes the child again.
He's having a tough time sleeping today.
Yeah. So, anyway, there's somebody, I don't recognize this name, but Paula Berlinski said the COVID-19 vaccines have approximately 100 times more reports of death per year than the average reports for all other vaccines combined.
I don't know about
which
that.
is,
I would think that's fairly
I don't really know.
accurate. I don't think that's accurate.
And Matt, yes, I understand that you really like the interactivity, and we're going to continue to be interactive. We're just going to
It's not going to be as
through.
much.
We're going to get through what we're talking about, so we stay on topic, and then we can kind of veer off.
Right. Like we'll say, I've heard some podcasts do it. Like they said, like you said, they finish the subject, then they go back and say, oh, well, Matt says this and Matt says that, and then they'll be like, yeah, and then they'll answer all the questions for that subject, and then they'll move on to the next subject and cover the complete subject, then go back and say, oh, well, Matt or so and so says this. I like. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's more. About
And that's what I want to do.
Yeah. That way we're not taking like 30 minutes to cover a 5-minute topic. Just
Right.
we're covering more. About
And I mean, we're still going to take 30 minutes to cover it probably because we're still going to have
but we'll
a
have
back
like
and forth. But we're going to have a structured.
subject section. Then comment section.
This is it, and then we'll talk about what everybody else is asking about.
Right.
So currently, I'm trying to look up the COVID-19 vaccine. Approximately 100 times more death.
No. This is a studio. We gotta be quiet.
Let's see.
We got kids in the studio, or a kid in the studio. You want to come say hi to everybody?
Go get up in Dad's lap.
Come here.
Say hi to everybody.
Come sit in my lap. Come here. Come here. You want to talk in the microphone? Come here. Everybody can see you. All right. Talk in the microphone. Say hi, everybody.
Bryson, everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, go with mommy.
There was Bryson. He will
toddler.
be a freedom toddler until he is no longer a toddler. And then he'll just be a freedom kid.
Freedom kid. He's not a toddler no more.
Oh,
He's 4 years
well,
old.
yeah, that's true. He's not. So I can't find anything about approximately 100 times more reports of death per year than the average reports for all other vaccines combined. I don't know where you got that from, but
I'm not sure
can't.
she's a watcher.
I can't find anything. Well, it's weird because it wasn't a trolling comment. It was like actually on topic.
But it could still be a bot, though. I don't know.
It could be, but I don't think it is. Like, it actually has a picture of a person.
But she's Asian. I mean, not to be racist, but
I mean, she's probably Hispanic, actually.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
really
Who
tell. I
knows?
can't see her
Who
face
knows?
that well in it. Regardless, so, yes, the AMA did a peer-reviewed study where they said masks are detrimental to
yeah,
kids.
because part of their
But they retracted it for various reasons. I don't know what it was, but
political, I'm sure.
regardless, it's been retracted. So whether it was true or not,
I mean,
it's debatable.
Because if you really think about it, though, kids need to see like mouths moving,
Right.
to learn how to speak.
Yeah,
right.
but the AMA journal study was not about the movement
I know.
of mouths. It was about
seeing facial.
No, it was about CO2 intake.
Oh, I got you.
So we all know that it's beneficial for kids to see
Oh, right. Yeah,
facial
yeah.
expressions and stuff like that. Like, that's not up for debate. Whether or not these kids are actually experiencing, oxygen deprivation or whatever because of the mask is.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised personally.
I wouldn't either, but also, I don't see how it really has that big of an impact. I think it's more of a mental impact than anything else.
But I mean, to be fair though, is it just me, or ever since the whole mask thing became a thing, it feels like society has gotten dumber?
No, society's always been this dumb.
Or maybe it's just since the mask thing started happening, I've actually been out in society more. Maybe that's just what it is.
It's probably that.
Maybe that's what
because honestly, as somebody who's interacted with the public a lot, because I don't seclude myself, and I haven't been on night shift for a long time.
Yeah, that's what, like before COVID, I was on night shift. I never really interacted with people.
People have always been this stupid. Trust me, they've always been this dumb.
That's sad.
So, anyway, I think honestly at this point, the only logical thing for the federal government to do is to just back off. But they're not going to do that because that's
what they should have
done
to begin with. They should have been like, here's the vaccine. You have the vaccine. You have monoclonal antibodies. You have ivermectin. You have all these treatments. We're leaving it up to you. This is your personal decision. We're not talking about it anymore. This is up to you.
Right. So, since we're in that comment reading portion, Matt says less O2 means less brain development. And yes, that's true. But does the data actually show that they're getting less oxygen and more carbon dioxide? Because if they retracted the study, it means there was probably a flaw in it somewhere, or it was for political reasons. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you whether or not it's true that they're experiencing decreased O2 levels or anything. All I know is that the study was retracted for some reason, and I don't think that they're being deprived of oxygen. That's just me. Because as an adult who wears a mask at work every day, because I have to, I don't experience shortness of breath. I don't experience
what kind
brain
of
fog.
mask? See what I'm saying? I think it could depend on what type of mask.
I don't think so, because a double-layered cloth mask and a surgical mask, you're not really going to get a huge restriction of airflow.
I mean, me, like, after I've worn it for a little while, I start to get kind of like, what do you call it? Like, shortness of breath, kind of like hyperventilating, kind of.
Well, that may be because you feel claustrophobic.
Yeah, to me, it makes me feel claustrophobic, and I think that could be what it's doing to these kids.
Regardless, it's either way. But I actually have to take a quick bathroom break because I didn't go to the bathroom before the show started. So I'm going to turn it over to you for your whatever you want to do.
Hold on. We don't have our producer in here unless you're going to go over there and turn it on when you leave.
Well, I've got this. You know what? Yeah, you're right. We don't have that. So
just wait a minute. When she comes back, then you go.
No, because I'm about to piss myself. Okay? So,
or hand me the mouse when you go over there. Or wait, here she comes.
She
wasn't gonna let that. She wasn't gonna let this moment go down, was she?
So,
okay, so it is time.
Matt, I understand the can't wear a mask because it causes your asthma to be an issue real fast, and that's a lot of people. It's not just you. So, like, honestly, I respect whoever's opinion to do whatever they want with their own bodies, because it's not my place to say you have to wear a mask. And honestly, I could give a shit less if I get COVID. So, with that, Beth, are you pulling up his stupid music? All right, because I've got to put this on there, but you don't have an audio source.
No, she's manually starting the audio.
Well, no, she doesn't have an audio source on the image. So
just pull it up real quick.
I'm just gonna, for anybody who wants to see this shit, I don't understand it, but whatever.
Y'all know what time it is.
Here's Joe's Conspiracy Corner. All right.
All right.
You should be back on full screen now.
Cool. All right. So,
damn it.
Turn it down a little bit. Oh, too much. All right, so I'm gonna wait and do the QAnon thing when Justin gets back. So this week in UFOs, see, 5 days ago, what I saw that night was real. Is it time to take aliens more serious? That's from the Guardian. The Pentagon has quietly been investigating UFOs since 2007. The fact that they think they might not exist is good news to those who. Hold on, click on this. Let's see. I don't know. I'm just gonna hit the headlines. I really don't need to do read any articles. Let's see. Shape-shifting Tic Tac UFO buzzes U.S. Space Force base tasked by Trump to probe the threats. That's interesting. See, then we got one for top 10 states for UFOs. The truth is here. An international UFO investigation organization, MUFON, sets up permanent something. Like I said, I'm only reading the headlines, and some of the headlines aren't full. So, former Pentagon UFO official Louis Elizondo to reveal shocking details. A new book. Fortnite's operation. Oh, that's Fortnite. That is not about UFOs. Not legitimate UFOs though.
Shoved up there, Joe?
Yeah. Okay, another one. Bigfoot. Dramatic footage claims to show new sightings of Sasquatch in Idaho. I want to watch this. Let's see. But of course, they don't actually show the Bigfoot's face. They still show its butt. Not as hairy as my butt.
Yeah, because that's definitely Bigfoot. Anyway.
It's only like literally like a 3-second clip of him walking, and it don't show anything else. Yeah, and all it just shows is 3 seconds of him walking over and over. Like, what in the heck, man? I don't get it. Okay, so here is the actual legitimate conspiracy stuff for the week, right? QAnon is back. Yeah, turn it down some more, because that is actually some serious stuff. Oh, you just turn it off. That'll work. So, QAnon is back. Okay? So, I'm scrolling through TikTok this week, and my mom also sent me a video where they're talking about, like, apparently last night at midnight was a 0 hour. And that you remember when QAnon really hit it big? And they were talking about how, like, they were fighting evil in the United States, and that they were, like, deep underground military bases, like, trafficking children and all this stuff, and how there was a military operation going on.
Oh, I remember.
There's another one going on.
I wish I didn't.
There's another one going on now. They're saying that it's going to be a new America reborn. Sounds kind of, what do you call it, purgy, but it's a new America.
I have my doubts, Joe.
Oh no! Like, this is still Joe's conspiracy corner.
No, I know.
Like,
I'm just saying.
And I have my doubts too.
I have my doubts.
But they're talking about, again, they're talking about you need to have at least 3 days of food and water, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and you need to get a wife and a real job.
And apparently, this guy said it was just from his son, and he's a Marine, and how they're fighting for America, and they're gonna make sure Americans stay safe, and blah blah blah, and. Yeah.
So, playing off your Joe's Conspiracy Corner thing.
Okay.
I have a friend on Facebook who works for NASA.
Oh.
And apparently one of her neighbors' parents or something who recently passed away also worked for NASA.
Okay.
And had documents from the planned missions to Mars in the 80s. You know how there's been a lot of people saying that there's a military installation on Mars in the conspiracy world?
Nope.
Not that I particularly believe it, but like...
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, you should look into that one, because that one's fun. But regardless, I saw the actual NASA documents where they were planning missions, like manned missions to Mars, back in the 80s. And, I just thought it was interesting. And if the wrong conspiracy theorists saw this, they would get like some real kicks out of saying, haha, I told you there was people on Mars. They get a real raging hard on for that. Yeah. But anyway, so QAnon is full of shit. They're stupid.
And did you know that also, well, this is actually real, so we can put this on to later, about the rally that happened today.
What, the Trump rally?
The January 6th rally. They had a January 6th rally.
Shocker.
But,
haven't I already said that subject's like off limits now? Like I'm done talking about January 6th. Like January 6th is just not something that I'm going to talk about anymore.
Last episode, to be precise.
Thank you, Beth.
So QAnon believers have now convinced themselves Gavin Newsom's landslide recall win is actually good. Trust the plan.
Okay, first off, we all knew that Gavin Newsom was not going to actually get recalled. Because that
state, still in power is not a good thing.
State is completely blue.
Yeah.
Because they're dumb. But regardless.
All right. Yeah. Well. Okay. So I'm done with these. We talk. Okay. So yeah, Matt, I agree with you. Everybody should have a good supply of food and water on hand just in case. But it's the fact that they're telling people this, like, oh, hey, let's wait until there's something that's going to happen, then make sure you have something, everything ready. No, like, you should always be ready. Trust the plan.
Your plan is stupid.
But, and then, yeah, I'm sure that they would, that's what I was thinking, too, is they were probably planning trips to Mars back then.
No, and I know, but there are people that believe that there are military installations on Mars right now.
Oh, no, I don't believe that at all.
Doom style. Doom, Gate to Hell opened on Mars.
I've
the
never
video
seen
game.
Doom.
No, it's the video game.
Oh no, I've never played Doom.
Also, the movie kind of plays off of that too, but they don't call it a Gate to Hell because they fuck up every video game movie they ever try.
So Doom
Mortal
is a
Kombat
movie
was
too,
pretty
right?
good. What?
Doom is a movie too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It has Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it.
Gotcha.
And at the very beginning of his horrible start to acting.
I got you.
Because he sucked as an actor to begin with. He's great now. I love movies he's in now. But at the beginning, bro, you sucked. And, you can come whoop my ass if you want. I don't really give a shit. Anyway.
You can mark that off the bucket list.
Yeah, I get to meet Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Or you could just go to, where is that officer?
Oh, yeah, the officer that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wants to have tequila shots with because he looks like literally exactly
Morgan
like
County.
Dwayne Johnson.
Where?
Morgan County.
Morgan County.
Yeah. If you didn't know, there's a sheriff in Morgan County that looks identical. Like it could have been separated at birth from
Like
The Rock.
twins. Twinsies.
They are literally twinsies. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure that they did plan missions to Mars, but back to the topics at hand. So the COVID narrative is beginning to lose steam, so they're shifting back to something that affects all Americans equally. Mass shootings.
Well, no, Justin, we've actually found out that I believe mass shootings actually still affect people of color more.
That has nothing to do with what I was saying. Beth, I actually sent you a link.
You said it affects all of us equally.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely affects people of color more because gang violence,
Oh no, I'm talking about like actual like mass shootings where people go into schools. I think that still apparently affects people of color more.
Huh? No. So, this article is on Forbes. It came out 2 days ago. The stresses and pressures of the COVID-19. Hold on. I'm going to put this up on the screen share. You might want to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so that people can actually see it if they want. The stresses and pressures of the COVID-19 pandemic could have fueled a huge spike in U.S. mass shootings over the last year and a half, according to a study published in JAMA Network Open on Thursday. First off, no.
Read that again.
The stresses and pressures of the COVID-19 pandemic could have fueled the huge spike in U.S. mass shootings over the last year and a half. What mass shootings?
Okay, so
when is the last mass shooting you heard about?
This is where I see it going. They're going to say that global warming caused COVID. COVID caused mass shootings. Therefore, because of global warming, we have more mass shootings. I can see it going.
Don't ever say those words together ever again.
But you know it's going to go that way.
First off, okay, so key facts. Scroll down a little bit. Key facts. There were more mass shootings. Defined as an incident when 4 or more people, excluding the shooter, are shot or killed from May 2020 than expected from incidents in previous years, according to analysis from the data the analysis of data from Gun Violence Archive between January 2014 and January 2021. Okay. In June 2021, sorry. Okay. 4 people, I don't consider that a mass shooting.
In a year?
No. Per instance.
Oh.
4 people. Shooting 4 people.
That's not really a mass
That's
shooting.
not a mass shooting.
That's just
You're
a shooting.
fucking stupid.
That's just a shooting.
That's just a shooting.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mass
It
shooting is
includes,
like crowds of people.
hold on, their data includes familial shootings. Like members of the same family shooting each other.
Get
Okay?
pissed.
Like, there's not a spike in mass shootings. Okay? We don't have a gun problem, people. We have a dishonest media problem. Okay? That's all this is. This is a willful misinterpretation of the data to attempt to push the narrative that you should give up your firearms. To which I say, fuck you.
You do.
Thank you, Joe. I will not be giving up my guns. I will not give up my freedom to defend myself. And there were not more mass shootings. Period. There weren't. I don't care what you want to define it as. That is not a mass shooting. Overall, the researchers said there were 343 more mass shootings in the last 15 months than would have been expected, contributing towards an additional 217 deaths and around 1,500 injuries. What?
TheTrace.org. Could climate change worsen gun violence?
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. You go ahead. I'm going to read this after you get done.
Holy shit. Anyway, so Beth, when is the last time you heard about a mass shooting in the United States?
Like significantly on the news.
Like,
hey, this is
a significant mass shooting.
Not, hey, this guy shot 4 people, but
Yeah.
like, hey, this is, yeah.
Beth, when's the last time? No, just
What's the last one?
when's the last one? It's okay to say I don't remember.
It was a school.
What was the last one that sticks out to you? We're not asking you what was the last one.
In the
Which
last
one just
in the
sticks out
last
in your mind?
15 months, do you remember
Oh,
one?
Well,
last 15 months.
No.
I don't.
So
I think there was like a business where the guy shot up his coworkers.
Oh yeah, FedEx.
Yeah.
FedEx. That's the last one I remember. That was like late last year.
Wasn't there one on YouTube? Or was that like a threat?
I think that was a threat.
Yeah, it was a bomb
Regardless,
threat, I think.
the last one that I remember personally was the FedEx one, which was horrible. But that was actually a mass shooting. Because he went to work and shot up his coworkers.
Yeah.
I think like 7 people died.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't know how many people died. I just know that is an actual mass shooting.
It was a mass amount of people were targeted, not just those 7 people.
Correct. Cody's on his way. It's only an hour late.
You want me to read this?
No, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
So the fact that this popped up as a notification on my phone tells you everything you need to know. They are literally trying to shift the narrative away from COVID because COVID is losing steam, because the backlash from the vaccine mandates and everything else that has gotten pushback in this administration, they need something to be like, okay, well, let's move on. Let's talk about mass shootings now.
It's like that Dr. Evil thing where it's like, COVID's not working no more. Release mass shooting. Then she goes, release mass shooting.
Yeah, exactly. So, also, I saw another fun fact. 50% of the gun sales in the last year have been to women.
Interesting.
I thought it was like a, I don't know, young white male problem. It's truly shocking. Because, the first question, or the first thing that anybody thinks when they hear about a mass shooting is Betty White. So, the fact that this article came out 2 days ago, and they're trying to tie COVID to mass shootings, tells you all you need to know. Again, we don't have a gun problem. We have a dishonest media problem.
Yes.
And even in the key background, it says an additional 2,400 or 24,000 people died by suicide with a gun. Yeah, because you shut down the fucking economy and you took away their livelihood. You stupid fucks.
Yep.
This is 100% the government's fault.
Yes. Yeah. And something that kind of still rings out in my mind that a coworker actually said when I was still working, probably right at the beginning of COVID when things first really started getting bad. His thing was die from COVID or starve to death. That's your two options.
Yep, pretty much. And that's what he's trying to do again with the vaccine mandates. Die from COVID or starve to death. Because I'm going to take your livelihood away.
So, I mean, what we're trying to say here is he's saying risk going out and trying to make a living the right way and do, risk it to make a living. Because you pretty much, responsible people got to do that.
Yeah.
Or starve to death because you're not out trying to make a living.
And we're not going to give you any money.
Right.
Except for like 3 times over the course of a 2-year pandemic.
I mean, that's still not going to be enough. I mean, unless you're like super fiscally responsible, which I would say probably 95% of people.
I'm sorry, but $1,400 and $1,200 and $1,000, that's not doing shit for anybody. It doesn't matter how fiscally responsible you are.
I would say for most people, that's probably a month. Maybe for some people.
That's not even a month for most people. Like, that won't even put food on the table for a family of 3 for a month.
$1,000, yeah, no. I mean, not completely. I would say $1,000.
Does it help? Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, fucking open the economy back up. Yeah. For a virus that kills less than 0.03% of people under 65, we sure have done a lot of fucking damage to our economy.
Yeah. Well, and Beth is friends with people that have had, problems with addiction and, depression and all this stuff. And it only got worse when they shut everything down.
I had to up my dosage on my
really
antidepressant because of COVID.
To be fair, I didn't get depressed. I got angry. COVID has made me an angry person.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but like a lot of my depression manifests as anger.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just grumpier. I had the typical depression symptoms too. Like, I didn't want to get out of bed.
Right.
I was showing up late for work. All kinds of stuff that was detrimental to my, general well-being.
Yeah.
But I did. I went and got my dosage increased, and it helped a lot.
Yeah.
So.
One thing I started doing, I started taking CBD. That helped. And to be honest with you, and I'm not saying this is the choice to make, but dang it, man, I started drinking again. Like, you can ask Justin, like, I did not drink. It was a religious decision. I just said, I'm not going to drink anymore. And I decided I'm not going to do that. Like, and so.
Well.
But then all of a sudden, it's just like, it's like stupid people just started oozing out of the wall, like stupidity just started oozing out of the freaking wall, and I had to do something to cope with it.
Yeah.
And that was my way of coping with it.
So there's a lot. There's a lot that really ties everything together.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, an increase in suicides is directly correlated to the fact that the government literally shut everything down.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't deny that.
No.
Period.
Yeah.
But
of course they'll
mass shootings ain't been a problem.
But see, they're not going to talk about that though. They're not going to talk about the deaths from suicide related to the pandemic.
I mean, they did in this article. They did, but the main point of this article is not about suicides.
I'm saying the government, like, they're not going to come out in a press briefing and be like, "Hey, this week we had this many people kill themselves."
Well, no, they're not going to talk about it because it looks bad on them.
Right. Right.
Why? I mean, why would you talk about it?
And who wrote the article? Forbes.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Forbes is starting to come out with more edgy stuff and actually confront things. But you're not going to see MSNBC, CNN, and then those people come out and say this kind of stuff because that would make their buddy Joe Biden look bad.
Okay, listen. If that's the standard by which you're deciding what to publish, you can't publish a lot of stuff because everything these days makes Joe Biden look bad.
Yeah.
His approval rating is tanked, like completely tanked. So, anyway,
I said that yes, there's probably somebody out there saying global warming, right? It was going to make.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'm actually pulling up the JAMA study right now that shows the mass shootings.
So, let's see. It says when Daniel Semenza read the United States alarming August report on the worsening climate crisis, he immediately thought about how increasing global temperatures would exacerbate violent crime. The criminologist and Rutgers University Camden professor has spent years studying violent crime and health disparities, and he has long been urging people to take their connections seriously.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. It says a more recent analysis of gun violence in Chicago found that a 10-degree increase over the average temperatures was associated with 33% increase in shootings. Why?
I'm sorry, but none of what you just said made any sense. At no point. I forgot the quote. It was that thing that I sent you the other day.
And it was even, what's his name? The comedian that just died.
No.
Yeah. No, that wasn't him. No, it wasn't. Never mind. That was his friend. It was his friend in that video.
We are all dumber for having heard that.
Yep. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response, something...
Did you make any sense?
Yeah.
And we are all dumber for having listened to it.
Therefore, I award you no points.
And may God have mercy on your soul. Bet you won't be strutting that ass down the streets of Chicago. Anyway, so... I don't know. The thing is that 54% of these mass shootings involved 4 people killed or injured. That ain't a mass shooting. Okay? 54% of these I automatically discount. Okay? So that's a total of 1,604 events. 745, which is 25%, involved 5 people killed or injured. That's getting closer to a mass shooting for me. 288, 10%, involved 6 people killed or injured. That's even closer. But 5%, 162 shootings involved 7 people killed or injured. That to me is more of a mass shooting. And then 6% involved 8 or more. So 186. Okay. None of this makes any sense at all. Because a lot of that can probably be correlated to, I don't know, gang violence, which is a whole other issue. And then the majority of this, you can't correlate this to COVID. You can't correlate mass shootings to COVID unless it's people who are disgruntled at their employers for having been worked to death and gotten nothing in return for it. Or
mandating vaccines.
Correct. Yeah.
Which that stuff hasn't happened yet, but is it?
It's possible. Yes. And when it happens, they're going to blame everybody but Joe Biden for it.
Yes.
So, that's basically the extent of how I feel about this narrative shift that mass shootings are a huge problem because of COVID.
You know what else apparently COVID is doing?
What?
Causing men to not go to college. This is actually, this is NPR. Or, no, this isn't NPR. This is Heshing.
I award you no points.
But it was also on, it was on...
you know what's contributing to men not going to college? The fucking price of college.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with COVID.
But Wall Street Journal reported, I couldn't read the Wall Street Journal one because you have to, sign in or subscribe. But
I hope everybody watching takes note of this because this is literally...
These are the reasons Justin has to take pills.
Like, that, me rubbing my face right there, that's
him releasing
literally
from the pills.
How this world makes me feel these days.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
I mean, this is why. This is what.
Think before you drink, before you drive me mad.
Oh, snap. We done made you mad. You're getting out the Aussie Aussie accent.
No, that's English accent.
No, that sounded very Aussie.
That wasn't what it was, Joe.
Wasn't there that one time where you guys... No, you were drunk.
Oh, I was drunk as shit.
Yeah, you were drunk. That's what it was.
Anywho.
Okay, college. And I think mostly what they're talking about is like 4-year schools. Which, unless you're becoming a doctor, a lawyer, big important things, I would say... engineer. I mean, but it depends on what kind of engineer even. I would say low-level engineers, you still shouldn't need a 4-year degree. In my opinion.
No, because it shouldn't take 4 years to get the education
you should not have to take
be
English
an engineer.
Composition.
You shouldn't need to take English, history. If you're taking English or history or social sciences, it should be directly related to the history of engineering.
Exactly.
Or the history of medicine.
Yes.
Or the history of underwater basket weaving. Whatever. I don't fucking care. Yeah. Relate it to the subject matter that you're actually getting a degree in, or fuck off.
Yeah. I don't think that, like I said, I think it's related to more 4-year degrees.
I think it's related to the fact that it's fucking expensive and nobody wants to fucking pay for college where you can't find a job anyway because they want 10 years of experience.
Yeah. But, technical schools, though, I feel like if you're going to go to school, like I said, unless you want to be a doctor, something big.
I'm so sorry if that burp came through the mic.
If you want to be like a brain surgeon or something like that, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
No. But here's the other thing.
You need schooling.
The more time that passes, the more our generation and generations younger than us have realized college is not the end-all be-all that the government has made it out to be for the past 10 years.
No.
I don't need a degree to have a good life.
Right.
I don't have a degree, and I make really good money.
Right. I don't currently have a degree.
For a job where the two people that started on the same day as me, making the exact same amount of money, had degrees. And then me, way younger than them, with no degree, but 10 years of relevant experience, almost 10 years, I was a shoo-in for that job. Yeah. But college, at the end of the day, is not the end all be all.
Right.
You don't need college.
Technical school is where you should be
You
going, man.
need the will to go out and make a living.
Right.
You need the will to not smoke weed for long enough to pass a drug test to get a job.
Yeah. We're not saying you shouldn't smoke weed. We're just saying at least don't smoke it long enough to pass a drug test.
I don't care if you smoke weed. I really don't. I
you
have
should at least
a
try
lot of
to
friends
pass a
that
drug
smoke
test.
weed
Yeah.
and are gainfully employed, and it does not impact their work at all. I have friends who are not gainfully employed because they won't stop smoking weed.
Right.
The only reason you can't get a good job while smoking weed is because it's federally illegal.
Well, I would say in places where you have to operate machinery, there I can see them.
Okay, you know what? You can still go home and drink, can't you?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that's the excuse that they're
no,
making.
No. Unless you're coming to work stoned, I don't give a
I
fuck
don't
what
either.
you do outside of
Yeah,
work.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm saying
And
that's the
that
company's...
should be the general rule. As
Yeah,
long as you
100%.
don't come to work impaired, I don't care what you do.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. No, I'm saying that's what the company I think looks at it as is.
I mean,
okay,
the war on drugs has been proven to be nothing more than a money-making machine for the state. Because it doesn't fucking work. It's never worked.
Yep.
It has always been a failure. And it disproportionately impacted people of color. They literally pumped crack cocaine, or I think it's not just crack. They purposefully fed crack into the black communities and then arrested them for it. Like, that's one thing that I'm willing to actually say. The war on drugs was absolutely racist at the start. 100% racist. And it was meant to target black fathers. Anyway, Matt's right. Colleges are indoctrination centers. That's exactly what they are. So, I think now we need to get into...
What I was going to say, though, is technical school, man. Like, 2-year degrees. That's where you need to be. That's what you need to be doing. Get in, get out. That's my goal. Get in, get out.
I mean, yeah, and it makes sense.
But I'm not having to take, like, 50 history classes. I think it's like one history class, one English class, one math class, one history class. Like, it's one of each.
Yeah. So we need to talk about the pushback on these mandates.
Oh, yeah.
So
numero uno, Kay Ivey pretty much is just like, well, that's just some tough shit, old man.
Yeah, Governor Ivey's about to break her off a switch.
She done said honey. You know when an old Southern woman says honey, she is not shitting around.
She's really not. So
She's about to go make him break off his own switch, and she gonna whoop his tail.
Yeah, she is. And
he get no sugar in his sweet tea.
Honestly, yeah, you get unsweet tea because we give horrible people unsweet tea. So
Does it make me a communist if I say I actually don't mind unsweet tea?
No, you're just wrong. There's a difference. So Governor Christie Noem of South Dakota will stand up to defend freedom at Joe Biden. See you in court. I do believe Florida, Texas, Alabama, and some other red states have already filed lawsuits. And
interesting how, in Florida, they were probably one of the first ones, and how they're not getting the monoclonal antibody treatment. But it's not political. Not at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Mm.
So, here's the problem. There is a Supreme Court precedent about vaccine mandates. And it happened in 1905. So, over 100 years ago. But at the height of the smallpox outbreak, And at a time when infectious diseases were the number one killer in America, the court considered whether Cambridge, Massachusetts could force people to get vaccinated for it. There was intense and passionate resistance to these vaccine mandates, with some people going so far as to burn their arm with nitric acid to make it look like they had smallpox, which left a scar.
That's messed up.
So, here's the thing. There was a local pastor named Henry Jacobson who resisted, claiming his son had had a bad reaction to earlier vaccines. He sued Cambridge and argued that compulsion to induce a disease into a healthy system is a violation of liberty, which it is. And that being forced to take the vaccine violated his 14th Amendment rights, which says no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property.
Which, if in the off chance and unlikely chance that you do suffer vaccine side effects and it kills you, that is the government depriving you of life.
Right. So, Justice John Marshall Harlan wrote that upon the principle of self-defense of paramount necessity, a community has the right to protect itself against an epidemic of disease which threatens the safety of its members. He wrote that liberty is not an absolute right in each person to be, in all times and in all circumstances, wholly freed from restraint. Here's the difference, though. COVID is not nearly as deadly as smallpox was. Right?
Right.
So, a third of everyone who contracted smallpox back then died from smallpox. You have what percentage chance of dying from COVID?
Less than 1%.
Oh. So,
Or I think it depends on your age.
Yeah, I
think we are maybe at 1%. Like maybe a little over 1%.
No, we're not even at 1%.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that once you're 50, 60 years old, you are kind of like 1%, 2%, 3%.
Yeah, but still, that's a 99% survival rate.
Yeah.
So what's the point of mandating a vaccine for a disease that does not kill the majority of people it infects? What's the point? And that's what this is all headed to. All of these states are fighting back on this for the exact same reasons. I said it earlier. These mandates have only made us double and triple down on the fact that we don't want the vaccine, we don't need the vaccine, and you can fuck off.
Yep.
None of this is constitutional. You cannot force someone to get vaccinated against a disease that literally statistically has a less than 1% chance of killing you. Okay? Those who are willing to give up liberty for some sense of security deserve neither.
Yep, I agree.
And I butchered that quote, but it's a Ben Franklin quote.
Smell like failure. Oh my gosh! You know what I just
the
thought
gist.
of? You
What?
haven't been using buttons tonight.
I really haven't.
Stupid.
There you go.
Sky falling? No, not yet. Anyway.
I mean, you brought it up, so. And I've used them a couple of times. I used failure on you earlier.
Yeah, but you're usually popping them off every 2 seconds.
We've actually been having really good discussion, and I haven't really been focused on
That's true.
this. And that's a sign that we're doing it right this episode. We're actually on the right track here.
Right.
But yeah, I used your fake news earlier too, after I got done talking like Trump. So another thing that I want to talk about is Mark Milley.
Oh, hold on. While we're on COVID.
Okay, yeah, continue. If you have more.
Yeah. So Matt mentioned the Geneva Convention. So it's is interesting. So I've looked up regarding health stuff. I guess in the Geneva Convention right here, right? It's talking about the Geneva Convention is mostly just talking about so far what I can find is mutilation and medical, scientific, or biological experiments, right? Which technically, if it's just under emergency mandating, it can still be considered an experiment at that time, right?
Well, I think the fact that these drugs are mostly experimental in nature because there's no long-term data,
right?
Is the problem. And Matt, we will enlighten you on the stupid in a while.
But,
we'll pull it up at the end to have a good laugh before.
But you notice, like, the government wasn't before the FDA.
Oh, you just saved yourself.
Before the FDA approved the vaccine, if you notice, there really wasn't any government mandates coming out for the vaccine.
No, because
they could not legally do it under Geneva Convention.
They still legally can't do it.
I mean, that one's FDA approved.
Doesn't matter.
I'm saying there's no right now. According to the Geneva Convention, it's not.
Again,
it's not saying anything.
Those who would sacrifice liberty for security.
So get on my level here, man. I'm talking about Geneva Convention. I'm talking about according to the
deserve
Geneva Convention.
neither, and will not have liberty or security. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
Let's see. You can't mutilate somebody. You can't conduct biological experiments on protected persons, or as a grave breach of this instrument.
Okay, so the accurate quote is, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. And he's right. If you're willing to give up liberty for a fleeting sense of security, you literally do not deserve the security or your liberty because you are an idiot.
Yes.
And that's a lot for me to say that because I believe that everyone has undeniable right to freedom.
Yes.
You should not be able to strong arm anybody into doing something they don't want to do. And that's exactly what the federal government's trying to do. They're trying to force you to get something because they know better than you. You're the great unwashed. You're the smellies.
The smellies?
You're the smellies. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Oh. Speaking of
rules for me and not for thee.
Yes. This is still on topic. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Representative D. Twitch.
That one?
Yes. Shows up at a Met Gala this week.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. That's what I was going to go into.
Yes, with a dress on that says, tax the rich, to a $35,000 per plate?
Yeah, it's a $30,000 per plate event. So
here's the thing. First of all, my first comment on this is, when Robin Hood took money from the rich,
stupid,
he didn't then go eat with the rich.
No.
That's not how that works.
No. It's not.
Second of all.
But
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Representative D. Twitch.
Is
stupid.
Now you're back on your buttons.
Well, that was a fun one. I had to do that.
But okay, so they were in there, and all the elite didn't have masks on.
Well, of course not.
But all the workers did.
Why would they have masks on, Joe? They're all vaccinated, right?
But I thought now we got to be careful indoors. We got to still wear a mask even though we're vaccinated.
Were they socially distanced?
No. I do not believe no.
They're killing Grandma.
But what I'm saying is they're still out here yakking about it.
Real man of genius.
They're still out here yakking about it. And to me, this is the epitome. When you're watching the movie The Hunger Games and you're seeing all the elite up there They're just having a good old time.
This is the scene from the Hunger Games where they offer PETA that pill that makes them throw up.
Yes. Yes.
So that you can continue eating while
Right.
the rest of the country fucking starves.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad.
I knew where you were going with
I'm glad
that.
you got this. That wasn't necessarily what I was going for, but you really pulled that out a lot better than what I would have. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You framed that a lot better than I could have right there.
Yeah,
But yes.
that's the scene.
Yes. Exactly. That's exactly the scene, man. And but yet when we were under Trump, everybody thought that it was the depiction of the Hunger Games. We were under it.
Yeah.
I did not feel that.
Well, fuck no. You know why? Because Trump was fundamentally a good president.
I mean, there
he
were some
did good things
I would
for
say
America.
Every president has something dystopian about them.
Correct. But all of the things that they said Trump was going to do are the things that Biden is actually doing.
But every time we have a Democratic president, I feel like
the
there's
media
legitimate
treats them with
dystopian.
kid gloves.
What?
They it's like boxing a child. You're not going to hit them.
Yeah.
You're going to like tap them.
But what I'm saying is like it felt like every time under a Democratic president, it legitimately does feel dystopian.
It does. It's just like what I said at the 4th of July. I think I brought it up last week. It felt like the last true celebration of America that we will ever experience.
We'll see. For sure.
Now, granted, it could just be because of the political climate right now. I was feeling a certain type of way because I am a patriot.
Right.
You know, I do love my country. I don't love what my country is right now, but I love
I
my
still feel like
country.
something's coming.
Well,
like
yes, something's coming. And it's probably a war with fucking China.
Either that or it's a civil war.
Or that, yeah.
Because there is an article. We'll touch on it later. I'm going to look it up right now. But there was an article that's actually talking about maybe it's time for the country to break up.
Yeah, I don't know. But the fact is that 3/4 of Americans who are eligible to be vaccinated are vaccinated. Right? I don't know where I got off on this. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Met Gala, but it all ties to COVID. Everything ties to COVID at this point. It's all fucking related.
Yeah, everything is kind of related.
And I don't know, man. I feel like AOC and I got a funny meme related to the AOC thing because it was Ilhan Omar.
Oh gosh.
And she also had a dress. I gotta find it.
Cody, where are you, man? You are now an hour and a half late.
Yes, he is.
And it was like 30 minutes ago he said he was on his way. No. It was...
What is that?
Like almost 40 minutes ago.
I don't know what this finger is that she sent me a picture of. Anyway.
Oh, it's you doing this. Or something like
Oh, I know, but I don't know when that happened. Let's see.
While you're looking up that dress, I was going. Well, no, we'll stay on topic. Stay on topic. Forgot.
Yep, stay on topic, Joe.
So, yeah, but to me, yeah, it legitimately felt very Hunger Games-esque with that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean it all is starting to feel like that.
And
to be completely honest,
and they even showed something about like it was something about women empowerment or something like that, and they had a picture of one of the women at the dinner, and they took a picture of her with some workers behind her working, and it talked about women empowerment. She was not wearing a mask, but all the women workers behind her were wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
But women, empowering women, man, empowering women. No, you want to empower elite women, and the heck with the normies.
Correct.
That's what it is. This is not so much about Cody's listening. He heard me say that.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's listening. At least he's being supportive.
Damn it.
But
this is annoying. I know I got that picture from somebody, and I can't remember who sent it to me.
Oh, snap. That's another good topic we need to cover here in a little bit, too. The whole, how, like, what they did, or their solution to gang violence. Did you hear about that?
No.
I didn't hear about suing
actually.
gangs, but I did hear about, like, paying off gangs. Did we talk about that last week?
I don't think so.
We didn't?
If we did, I don't remember.
It was on one of the videos, I think. I don't know if we actually talked about it. But it talked about like how to cut. No, it may have been on one of the podcasts I was listening to. But on one of their solutions to how to decrease gang violence is pay them off, to give them money.
Oh yeah, sure. That's a great idea. Let's just.
I didn't. But Matt, I didn't hear about the one about suing gangs.
Holy crap, Cody! You're not gonna make it. We're gonna be done before you get here.
Yeah, I only got about 30 minutes, man.
I don't drive fast in this truck.
He has a bigger truck now. I don't know if you've seen it. It is.
Oh no, I saw it.
It's massive.
I'm still trying to find that picture because somebody sent it to me, and I don't remember who it was that sent it to me. But damn it, it was hilarious. And I can't. I thought it was Kyler, but I can't find it.
Speaking of Kyler, where is Kyler? He's not on here either.
He's
probably
got
watching
some
football.
Birthday stuff going on.
Oh, is his birthday?
No, it's not his birthday. It's somebody else's birthday.
I really liked Kyler being on here last week.
Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. So, yeah, it was Kyler that sent it to me. And Ilhan Omar's dress on the front of it, you know, this is obviously Photoshop, but it's still hilarious. It said smash the patriarchy, and then below at the bottom, it had in parentheses, and your brother.
Let me see. But she really did wear a dress.
She wasn't there, dude.
Or somebody really did wear a dress saying in the patriarchy or something like that.
I'm sure somebody did.
You know what? And what's funny about it is, if there really was a patriarchy, I heard Matt Walsh talk about it this week. If there really was a patriarchy in America, you wouldn't be allowed to wear that dress. And let's go drop you into the middle of a country where there really is a patriarchy and see how long you last.
Regardless.
I.e. Afghanistan.
All of this stuff is just bullshit at this point. And we really need to talk about Mark Milley.
Mark Milley. Traitor. He needs to be hung by a lamppost.
He is indeed a traitor. So, Mark Milley literally went behind President Trump's back and basically told China, don't worry, things are hectic, but I'll warn you if we're going to nuke you or attack you in any way. Yeah, because that's a great idea. Just tell the people that we're going to attack that we're going to attack. Because that's not a good way to get, our soldiers killed faster.
Stupid.
But also, why would you do that?
Because you're stupid.
Like, why? What is the point of telling the greatest threat to America that, don't worry, I'll let you know if we're going to attack you, while breaking the chain of command in America, because you're not authorized to do that.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. I don't get, why would you, Trump obviously was not going to nuke somebody.
No, I don't think so.
Not at all. So why did Mark Milley feel the need to go behind Trump's back and say to a Chinese general, don't worry, if we're going to attack you, I'll give you a heads up? Not only that, but how did somebody find out about it?
Oh, it's because of the book that it was one of the books. There's somebody that just wrote a book. And it was in it.
I mean, and then he's also been involved in that airstrike that killed an aid worker in Afghanistan.
Yeah, botched Kabul drone strike. Latest for involved Milley. Latest for involved Milley.
So
who called the operation righteous?
He insisted it was a righteous strike. Bullshit.
It was terrible.
It was a horrific tragedy of war and heart-wrenching. I'm sorry, but no. You literally fucking called a drone strike on somebody without doing the due diligence to make sure that it was the right fucking person. You killed 7 kids, dude.
Yep.
But this is a great success. Great success. Okay, Borat style. Great success. Not only that, but there's actually a YouTube video of one of the other generals actually taking the blame for it. I watched it earlier today, and it was disgusting.
Let's see. So apparently, Mark Milley says calling a Chinese general were within his duties. No.
No, it wasn't. It literally was not. So I'm going to send this over to the Discord, and then I'm going to go over there and pull it up since we lost our Beth. I'll be right back. Because, Afghanistan continues to be a topic that we have to talk about for some reason because these people continue to fuck it up. Hold on.
Yep. I'm telling you, we're going to war with China at some point.
Yeah, that's not...
I feel like it's inevitable.
That's not even up for debate.
I feel like it's inevitable. I wish there was a way we could put in the comment section like polls. Like for them to do where it don't interrupt the feed, but like they can do polls in the thing like, hey, what do you guys think? We just throw it up on the thing. That'd be cool.
There probably is. And I just don't know about it.
Crunch Master. Need a
I hate these ads that you can't skip.
So apparently, General Mark Milley fumed that he was effing done with this shit after Trump used him to stage a photo op during George Floyd protests.
Oh, you mean that photo op in front of the church that has already been proven to have not been a photo op? Is that what you're talking about? Because I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about.
Probably. This is September 16th.
Because, that wasn't a photo op. It was a photo op, but it wasn't cleared to be a photo op. It was already going to be cleared. So, Mark Milley's a liar, and, he should be hanged for treason, because that's what the punishment for treason is.
Do you have the mouse?
Yes, I do. Okay. But anyway, okay, so... what is... Oh, that's my computer. Whoops! So, let's hear General McKenzie talk about his
This strike was taken in the earnest belief that it would prevent an imminent threat to our and the evacuees at the airport. But it was a mistake, and I offer my sincere apology. As the combatant commander, I am fully responsible for this strike and its tragic outcome. While I've begun with the most important findings of our investigation, I do want to provide the background leading up to the strike and include an explanation as to why we felt reasonably certain that this was a legitimate strike on an imminent ISIS-K threat, with no indication that the strike would result in civilian casualties, as we asserted in our initial statements. The strike on 29 August must be considered in the context of the situation on the ground in Kabul at Hamid Karzai International Airport, following the ISIS-K attack that resulted in the deaths of 13 soldiers, sailors, and Marines, and more than 100 civilians at Abbey Gate on 26 August, and also with a substantial body of intelligence indicating the imminence of another attack. In the 48 hours prior to the strike, sensitive intelligence indicated that the compound at point number 1 on the map, and let's bring the map up now, please. And we're just going to bring this up. Hopefully you have an opportunity to see it here as we go forward. John, can you see the map there?
That seems to be about as efficient as our technical.
Hey, John, can you hear me now?
And the press have hard copies.
Okay, Roger. Then I'm gonna continue based on that. Then, John, in the 48 hours prior to the strike,
government is not efficient.
sensitive intelligence indicated that the compound at point number 1 on the map was being used by ISIS-K planners, used to facilitate future attacks. We were also receiving a significant number of reports indicating multiple avenues of attack which were being planned simultaneously, through which ISIS-K would attempt to harm our forces, including with rockets, suicide explosive vests, and vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices. In fact, in the 36 hours preceding the strike, our leaders on the ground, at the airport, and in the strike cell received more than 60 different pieces of intelligence related to imminent threats, with some intelligence corroborating and some conflicting, with events observed from our UAVs, which were flying above Kabul throughout the day. One of the most recurring aspects of the intelligence was that ISIS-K would utilize a white Toyota Corolla as a key element in the next attack. Because the compound at point number 1 was our strongest lead for this series of imminent attacks, we initiated an intense surveillance of the compound with as many as 6 MQ-9 Reapers on the morning of 29 August. At 8:52 a.m. local time on 29 August, a white Toyota Corolla arrived at point number 1, the compound we believed to be a key area of interest associated with imminent threats to the airport. 2 adult males exited the vehicle, met with an adult male in the compound, and received a bag from him. The Corolla then departed the compound, heading south, and we followed the vehicle. At 9:05 a.m., the Toyota Corolla picked up a 3rd adult male carrying a bag at point number 2, and then continued south. At 9:35, the Corolla arrived at the compound at point number 3, which we now know to include an Office of Nutrition and Education International, and all 3 adult males in the vehicle entered the building on the compound. At 11:19 a.m., 3 adult males unloaded bags and jugs from the trunk of the vehicle before departing the compound at 11:22 a.m., heading south. At approximately this time, U.S. forces were notified of a sensitive intelligence collection indicating that an ISIS-K cell leader in Kabul was dropping off supplies. At 12:11 p.m., the Corolla arrived at point number 4, and at least 2 adult male occupants exited the vehicle in front of an office building before returning to their vehicle and departing at 1:27 p.m., heading west and then south. At 2:00 p.m., the Corolla returned to the compound at point number 3. Subsequently, multiple adult males were observed loading the trunk of the vehicle, with items assessed at the time to be explosives, before departing at 3:47 p.m. with 4 adult males heading north. At 4:11 p.m., the Corolla returned to point number 2 and dropped off one adult male carrying a bag, then continued north. After driving near point number 1, the Corolla dropped off one adult male on the road at point number 5, which is roughly several hundred meters north of point number 1. At 4:39 p.m., the Corolla dropped off its last passenger on the road at point number 6. At 4:51 p.m., the Corolla arrived at point number 7 and backed into a compound that was approximately 3 kilometers from the airport, which was the closest it came to the airport all day. We were very concerned that the vehicle could move quickly and be at the airport boundary in a matter of moments. By this time, we had observed the vehicle for about 8 hours. While in the compound, the vehicle was observed being approached by a single adult male assessed at the time to be a co-conspirator. The strike was executed at this time because the vehicle was stationary and to reduce the potential for civilian casualties. The single Hellfire missile was fused to detonate inside the vehicle to further minimize the chance for civilian casualties. It struck the vehicle at 4:53 p.m., which produced an explosive event and follow-on flames significantly larger than a Hellfire missile would have been expected to produce. It is my assessment that leaders on the ground and the strike cell had achieved a reasonable certainty at the time of the strike to designate the vehicle as an imminent threat to U.S. forces at the airport, and that they made this self-defense strike in accordance with established rules of engagement. That assessment is based upon interviews with leaders on the ground and members of the strike cell, on a review of the intelligence available to the team at the time of the strike, and on the team's interpretation of how this vehicle and its occupants' actions were confirming the intelligence that they were seeing. It is further my assessment that the strike team were convinced at the time of the strike that the area was clear of civilians and that they had taken prudent steps in regards to weaponeering the strike to minimize the potential for civilian casualties. Finally, it is my assessment that they did believe, as reported, that there was a secondary explosion. Our investigation now concludes that the strike was a tragic mistake. First, I will stress this was not a rushed strike. The strike cell deliberately...
I don't believe you.
I feel like it was...
and observed this vehicle.
I feel like it was very half-ass. Like that's the vibe I'm getting from this whole ordeal.
It was
very half-assed.
100% half-assed.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
Yeah, and you half-ass like a million things. Right?
Yeah, you half-ass like 20 things.
Yeah.
Occupants for 8 hours while cross-checking what they were seeing with all available intelligence to develop a reasonable certainty of the imminent threat that this vehicle posed to our forces. Second, while the initial reports indicated a secondary explosion, the initial investigation could only conclude that there was a possible to probable presence of external accelerants that could include either explosive material in the vehicle or an ignition of the gas tank of the vehicle. Subsequent analysis could not rule out the presence of a small amount of explosive material, but determined that the most likely cause was the ignition of gas from a propane tank located immediately behind the car. Such an ignition would have created a brief but massive fireball oriented directly up and out of the compound that was observed in the video and displayed in this photo. If we could get that next photo up, please.
They have me disabled, sir.
Nerds. My new money goal?
So, first off, you fucked up. Second off, whatever intel you were being fed from, I don't know, the Taliban was probably bullshit.
Yeah, it was probably somebody helping people.
Third off, it was an aid worker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's legitimately what that guy was doing. He was an aid worker.
And the Taliban don't like aid workers. They want those people to die. So
correct.
That you literally helped the Taliban.
Congrats.
Not only have we armed them, but now we're helping them.
That was always the contingency that we've been talking about, is that they were going to basically become a Taliban wet team.
Yep.
And that's what's happened. They have become a Taliban wet team. They literally assassinated
somebody for the Taliban.
Someone who was helping people because the Taliban don't like that.
Yep.
Like, that's the general idea that I gather from this.
Yep.
So, at the end of the day, this just further proves that this administration
Justin, no.
Can't be trusted.
No. What's more important is that we try to get the Taliban to be more inclusive.
No. What's more important is that we get vaccinated.
And that's it for tonight on Embers of Liberty.
Have you seen... So, we're kind of through all the topics now, so now it's more of just...
one more.
What is this final topic that I don't know
This,
about?
So, it was talked about on Matt Walsh this week, but there's multiple outlets talking about how maybe it's time finally for America to break up.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely time for a national divorce.
Like, obviously, like those of us that think differently, we're kind of at that point where we don't really care what your opinion is. We're going to do what we want to do. And that's what the other side thinks too. So, at this point, why don't we just break up finally? Like, we don't even have to have a war. Like, let's just say everybody that agrees to do one thing, you go to these states. Everybody that agrees to do this, you go to these states. Everybody agrees to do whatever else, you go to these states.
Well, the thing is that I don't believe that that's entirely necessary. I think that it's getting to a point where it doesn't matter what we do, it's just going to continue to get worse until there's a war.
At some point, the cancer has to be cut out.
I mean, it's like I said last week, the ideologies that make up the left side of the aisle are evil and have to be eliminated.
Right.
But when I say that, I don't mean violently.
Right.
But also, these people have proven over and over again that they will not learn. They cannot learn. Facts do not matter to them.
Not that they necessarily don't. They won't. They refuse to.
Correct. Just like I refuse to get the vaccine.
Yes.
Because fuck you.
Eat a dick.
Thank you, Joe. It's more of a problem because of the media. Because the media actively vilify conservatives. And then conservative media actively vilifies liberals.
Yes.
Now, on the scale of political beliefs, like on the spectrum, we are technically classically liberal.
Technically.
Because...
But some people hear that and they'll take it to say that, oh, we like killing babies.
Because we believe in liberty.
Yeah. But one thing I brought up, it was brought up on the Alabama Libertarians page, and I said that we pretty much needed to abandon that verbiage, though, because it's kind of like how other verbiage has been brought up to mean other things now.
Yeah.
So we need to abandon that verbiage because it can mean other things to people now.
Right. Go ahead. I mean, I'm finding it funny for the end of the show.
You know what we need to do at the end of the show? We need to have like this week's top 5 TikTok videos.
No.
No?
No.
But we're not talking about like girls shaking their booties and stuff. I want to do the ones like the funny ones.
or the serious ones, or whatever. Yeah, no, I don't think that's a thing that I want to do.
Or just the top 5 videos. It could be TikTok videos, YouTube videos.
But that is going to take a lot of time.
No. Like, they can't be like 5-minute long videos. They got to be like a minute and a half tops. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, top 5, that's what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most?
Yeah. So, this will give Matt
clarity to our...
clarity as far as where our stupid comes from.
Yeah, so Matt, if you haven't seen this guy, this is where our stupid
hold on, it's not up there yet, because we were still talking about whatever you wanted to talk about.
I'm good.
But I don't necessarily believe that like a national divorce is entirely necessary yet.
You think we should try to cut the cancer out first?
I think we should give it a little bit more time, because there are even some on the other side of the aisle that are starting to come around and be like, "Whoa."
Yeah, but there's also more on the other side of the aisle going even further.
And that's true.
You know what time
does?
Those
people will get eliminated.
You know what time does, Justin? It makes things ferment more.
That's true. Sometimes.
Makes things ferment more, Justin. It makes it harder to get the taste out of your mouth.
I don't
Put
disagree.
this right there as a reminder. I don't even know what that is. I think
it looks like relish.
I think it's cucumber relish, I do believe.
Regardless.
I still haven't tried it yet.
I think that there's still time to fix the problem rather than
maybe
go all in on ending.
This little guy's looking awfully friendly.
But
this little guy's looking awfully friendly.
Regardless, I'm out of things to talk about.
Son of a gun. He just said out of things to talk about. And who comes walking in?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Who comes walking in?
Yeah, you're only like 2 hours late, bro.
Say hi to everybody, Cody.
Better late than never.
I disagree. I prefer to be on time. Here, take that.
Here's your steering wheel, Cody.
So, we were about to share where
the stupid button comes from.
Stupid comes from. So that Probst knows. Because he made it a point to tell us that he thinks it's more of the fact that he doesn't have the context of it.
All right.
So, I give you where stupid comes from.
Sir, do you have any statements on the civil unrest?
Don't be a dick.
Sir, we're going to welcome back our athletes from the Olympics with 50 gold medals and 1 silver.
Seal, you know what this is? This is called failure. Wait, where you going?
It's Christmas break. We're gonna go home.
Okay, hold on. Hello, big man. Yes, okay, good. I talked with Santa. You're getting fired for Christmas.
Do you have any statements on international relations?
Don't be a dick.
What do you think about the racial tension right now?
Everybody should treat each other with kindness. And don't be a dick!
So this girl wasn't happy because she was charged $5,000 for an ambulance ride?
Okay, what's going on?
She fainted.
What they do?
They took her temperature.
And
they told her to drink more water.
For $5,000?
Yes.
I can buy a car and drive my unconscious self for $5,000
Because the way the infrastructure is set up. It's,
Why?
Because the medical insurance companies are supposed
Why?
to. I don't know.
What the hell? Steven!
Hey Dad.
Why you don't have gold?
Because 75% of the people are still not subscribed.
So if half the people subscribe, you get gold?
Yeah.
I will pay your ass later, okay? Where you going?
Oh, it's lunch break.
Break? What's break? I break my foot up in your ass, you don't get to work!
Hi, it's Mr. Muscle here. We're gonna need to take the entire educational and healthcare budget.
What the hell? We can already destroy mankind 15 times. Why you need more money?
We're trying to build a jet.
Why?
That can travel 3 times the speed of light into the nether.
Can I have a discount? Steven, You doctor yet?
I'm still an actor.
Actor. I'll have a double cheeseburger with fries, please.
So here's our budget for our last 20 years from all 52 departments.
We're missing $28 billion.
What? How did you what?
Well, you don't see this? Can't do quick math.
We had a team of 200 specialists work the numbers out.
What, did they use calculators too? Stupid.
So Wall Street has been taken down by a group of gamers who bought GameStop stock.
What's wrong with that?
Hedge funds have lost millions, sir.
I like the stop. Okay.
That guy cracks me up.
What did they use calculators? Stop it.
Oh, that's funny.
Stupid.
Cody, how was your week?
I don't care. He was 2 hours late.
Cody, how was your
He
week?
doesn't get the...
My week was amazing. I bought a truck. I made money. And
Living that single life.
I'm hanging out with one of my best friends and one dick.
And a dick.
Dick.
Stupid.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. So, anyway, that brings me to... Dun, dun, dun. Justin's Financial Corner.
Son of a
Oh.
bitch. I knew I should have just not
I
come.
need more whiskey.
No, so there's a trend happening right now with GameStop shares where they are being transferred to computer shares. Shut up. They're being transferred to computer share right now and being direct registered. This literally is what caused the Volkswagen short squeeze back in 2006, I think.
I'm not aware of a Volkswagen short squeeze, so I don't know.
Oh, dude. Volkswagen short squeeze was legit. Porsche. So what happened in the Volkswagen short squeeze was that Porsche bought up a bunch of Volkswagen stock because they wanted to buy the company or be majority stakeholder in the company. And because they were buying up all this stock, there wasn't enough available for everybody else. So the price just went through the roof. Like, it went from like $200 a share to over $1,000 a share, I think. Regardless, it's not like it's so GameStop is fundamentally different in the fact that Volkswagen was not being short sold the way that GameStop is. So what we're seeing now is we're seeing a decrease in dark pool volume because more and more of the shares are being transferred to computer share and direct registered, which makes them impossible to borrow. And we're seeing way smaller price fluctuations as far as up and down goes. It's been 200 or above almost all week. And the Tindy Man cometh. That's all I really had.
So what's the group though that on Tinder
on Reddit?
On Reddit.
Super Stonk.
You know what I think? You know what my opinion on Super Stonk is? I think it's the QAnon of the financial world.
It's not though. So here's the thing. Okay, so I gotta go to Super Stonk now because fucking shit, I can't type.
If you quit gurgling the dang microphone.
Did I send you that picture?
Don't be a dick.
Did I send you that picture? Okay, hold on.
What picture?
That's coming to chat. It's terrible.
Anyway.
Oh, my booty hurts.
You said that about the mic.
Booty
Just
hurts.
made me
Booty hurts.
made me giggle inside.
Okay. Let's see. There is Super Stonk. So, like, here's the thing. So, like, on January 26th, 2021, there was a article on Seeking Alpha. GameStop, short squeeze is over. Take your profits while you can. Then on June 22nd, GameStop, the squeeze has run its course. Time to move on. On June 29th, GameStop, ditch it. The short squeeze is over. And then September 16th or 18th. With short interest of less than 15%, don't expect another squeeze. Okay. If it's not a squeeze contender, why the fuck are you still talking about it? Oh, that's right. Because it's still a squeeze contender. There's, they were supposed to have to roll over. Oh my God. Take that off.
He can't concentrate. It's like a beam. Like how I control him.
Okay, so one of the users who's
Didn't work.
been doing God level DD. Well, that's actually marked as debunked. What the fuck? Anyway, where is the fucking library?
Oh, we already pulled that out. I don't know if you know that.
I know. That's why I did it.
What did you do?
Really?
Hey, he was about to pull out the music.
No.
Put that up. I was like,
where is the fucking DD library?
Huh?
Oh, there it is.
Me?
Where did it go?
Words.
That's not it. This is super annoying.
I'm gonna hold your hand.
My apologies if y'all heard that. We did not hear yours.
Oh, there
earlier.
it is. So there is a library of due diligence that people like. The longer this goes on, the more shit we uncover about how they're fucking retail every day. So let's see if I can't find the latest one. Nope, that's not it. Whoever put these damn pictures on there is super annoying. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Oh, I like that. I've never actually been to this because I've never been able to. But like, we're talking like 16 pages of detailed, like, this is what this is. This is like, I swear, if you were to just go read due diligence on GameStop, you would understand why it's such a big deal and why so many of us believe in it the way that we believe in it. For the first time in months, Friday, GameStop and AMC stocks split. They stopped following each other. For the first time in months, the dark pool volume was less than 20%. Like, things are happening. Do you know about Evergrande?
Negative.
So Evergrande is a Chinese real estate company.
China.
Be quiet. They had over $300 billion in debt. They've basically declared bankruptcy. They're not going to be making payments on their interest that they were supposed to make this month. Like, this is 2008 level financial crisis blocks that are starting to fall. Shit's about to get really real, whether you believe in GME or not. And it's all going to be related to the stock market.
That's what I'm saying.
We're talking
stock
about
market crash is coming.
We're talking about another stock market crash, and the way that things look, GME is going to be the one stock that's not really impacted by a crash.
Because people aren't going to sell.
Well, no, it's because It's going to be the only thing that's got any value anymore for whatever reason. And I don't completely understand it, but I understand enough to know that it's being manipulated and that something fucky is happening.
Let's see. The Dow just this week. Is down like, what, 300 points? Something like that?
I don't know. But like, even so, there's, chaos theory, the everything connection, chaos theory, conflicts of interest, chaos theory, the final connection.
Oh gosh. Look at this. Like, ooh, that's not looking good.
What?
So, if you go look, just type in like Google the Dow, and you can look at the graphs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this month, like the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month, we were around 34,960. Then it went up to, it peaked at like 35,443. Now we're all the way back down to 34,584. So from the beginning of the month, we're down like almost 400 points from the beginning of the month. Just on the Dow.
Yeah. So, also, the Fed was selling off for, what was it? How did they phrase it? Shit. What's the word I'm looking for?
Stupid.
Stupid.
I have no idea. All I know is that, the Dow's like plateauing. It's very weird looking.
Shit. What was the word I was looking for?
That one.
No, it's not that one. I saw it on
Arc.
Super Stonk earlier today. Let's see. Damn it. Where did it go? Let's see. Oh, ethics. Over ethics concerns. So, and this is actually an article that was posted on yesterday. After years of being squeaky clean, the Federal Reserve is surrounded by controversy. Yeah, for ethics violations. Because of investing in stocks that they should have been barred from investing in. Because it's considered insider trading. So, yeah, all of this shit is starting to crumble. And I'll see you after I retire. In a couple of weeks. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Whether or not it actually happens, all of this stuff is interesting. I know more about the stock market now than I ever did prior to this year. And that's a good thing. The more we understand the markets, the better off we are to begin with. But the point of the matter is that the rest of the world is starting to distrust the American stock market.
Oh, yeah.
As they should. Because it is a cesspool of people who are blatantly manipulating the prices of stocks, that are abusing things like naked short selling, whether you can prove it or not. But so it's turned out, and there was even an article that got published as all of this started to unfold after January. They had to find another way to short the markets. And the way they were doing that was with total return swaps, which is basically a CDO, which is what triggered the financial crisis in 2008. That's what caused the housing market collapse. They were doing credit default swaps. So, in order for those prices to drop, the underlying bonds had to fail, right? So now it's turned into the same thing, just with certain securities. They've placed all of these securities into total return swaps, and they're trading them just like they did when they were shorting the housing market back in 2008. And it wasn't even the hedge funds that were shorting the housing market. It was investors that discovered this, like Michael Burry, who actually posted. So if you don't know who Michael Burry is, he's the guy that figured out the housing crisis in 2008. He saw it coming 2 years before anybody else did. And he's famous for saying, I may be early, but I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how it feels with GameStop. Like, we may have been early, but we're not wrong. All of the data points to the users of Reddit being correct as to what's going on.
I just found an article from fintechzoom.com, and the article says stock market analysis, and this is from September 18th, so this is like literally today. It's from today. Stock market analysis today. Should you be worried about a stock market crash? Here's what the data suggests. See, over the past 19 months, investors have witnessed history on both sides of the spectrum. See, they navigate their way through the quickest decline of at least 30% in the history of the storied S&P 500. And they've subsequently revealed the strongest bounce back rally from a bear market bottom of all time. That was because of COVID, though. Let's see, but this monster rally begs the question, is another stock market crash or potential steep correction around the corner, and should you be worried about it? It said basically it depends on your investing style.
So, here's another
If you're
thing.
a short-term investor, trader, you have reason to worry.
So, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has directed officials at the central bank to take a comprehensive look into the ethics rules surrounding permissible financial holdings and the activities by senior staff. I will note that during a GameStop hearing, one of the people who is questioning in Congress took direct payments from the hedge fund, market maker, and dark pool holder that we have issue with, Citadel Securities. Conflict of interest much? Because he was speaking to Gary Gensler, the chair of the SEC, about why are you acting like retail investors' daddies? Why are you sticking up for them so much? Well, it's because of shitbags like you who hold securities or take payments from someone who is blatantly showing no regard for the system. And that's exactly what they've done. I will remind you that Citadel Securities has been inactive on social media since January 26th. Prior to that, they had relatively common and frequent posts on social media about what they do. But after GameStop started, they vanished. Huh. Weird. Now there's also Glassdoor reviews of former employees and some trolls probably, but I saw one today that made me giggle. It was the pros and cons on Glassdoor, and the con was it no longer exists. So I would rather be a part of what's happening than not. And like, nothing that I say should you consider financial advice, because I don't fucking know. I don't know what's going to happen.
To be completely fair, if there's a financial collapse and to say money goes south and money means nothing no more, it don't matter.
It doesn't matter. Exactly. But if change comes because of GameStop, I would rather say that I was a part of it than to say that I sat on the sidelines.
Y'all going to be walking around going, smooth brain ape.
No.
Y'all going to be out in the streets, everybody's going to be going,
okay, for one, let me, so I have determined that the only smooth-brained apes are the people that believe AMC is going to be a thing. AMC is not a squeeze play. It's
Matter of
never
fact,
been a
AMC
squeeze
is
play.
probably going to end up losing money again because now they're talking about theaters making you have to have the vaccine in order to go to movie.
Talking about it, doubt it happens. Anyway, but they're also like, so you have the popcorn stock, which is AMC, literally talking about GameStop due diligence like it's AMC's due diligence. Like, if you were to ask someone who supports AMC stock the way that we support GameStop stock, they can't cite any data that didn't come directly from Superstonk or Wall Street Bets prior to the mass exodus from Wall Street Bets.
I don't know, man. Joe Biden says Corn Pop was a bad dude.
That's true. Corn Pop was a bad dude. It's a very bad dude. But I don't know. Ultimately, at the end of the day, do what you want to do with your money. But as for me, I've got like $5,000 invested in GameStop right now. So,
would you be willing to share how much you have made?
None. I've lost because my cost basis is higher than what the current price is. That's not the important part.
I mean, that's the important part to me.
To you, maybe. To
I
me,
could care less about the mission.
Okay, listen. Money. To me, I could care less if that stock goes to $2 again. I'm not selling.
That would hurt.
Okay, I'm not selling because I believe in the company. I believe in what Ryan Cohen is actually doing with the company. So for me, whether it makes me money or it loses me money, it really doesn't matter. That's not money that I have to live right now.
Right.
Or else it would be in my pocket and not in GameStop.
I think YouTube's broken.
It may be.
It's showing 0 viewers, but yet I'm one of them.
Well, I'm one of them too. So YouTube is definitely broken. But regardless, it's funny because it only got broken after I started talking about GameStop. It's like they want to silence me.
All right, QAnon money man.
No, and it's not so much a trust the plan thing. It's more of a everything that I've read and everything that I'm seeing. The fact that they haven't been able to tank the price past $200 the past week says a lot. The fact that after people started registering their shares with ComputerShare, it made it harder for them to drop the price at all says a lot. It says that
the fact that Justin has gotten like a half hour for Justin's financial corner.
Well, actually, it wasn't just me because we actually started talking about the Dow and stuff.
I know.
I believe in what they're trying to do with GameStop. Whether it's gonna impact my future in a significant way or not, it remains to be seen. But I think that the narrative that these hedge funds should be able to short a company into oblivion just to make a buck is bullshit. And I think that what's happening now is going to stop that from happening in the future.
I could
do
agree with
you understand how many companies?
Oh no, I'm not saying what they're doing is like I'm totally down with them trying to teach the hedge fund guys a lesson.
Well, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I got shilled the other day. Dude, I sent you the screenshots.
Yeah.
I literally got shill messaged yesterday or the other day on Twitter.
Yep.
Like, hold on, I'll tell you guys exactly what was said to me. Because I trolled this guy back. Like, let's be real, I'm gonna troll him.
Yeah.
Because, you're stupid. So, let's see. And here we go. First message. Hey, are you following AMC too? When did you invest in AMC? I also bought some. So, me, being the asshole that I am, said, are you thinking we should sell soon? Tomorrow, maybe? I think we should sell the AMC shares. I am an AMC XXX holder ape of the shares of AMC. Didn't get a reply for a while. Next morning, I wake up and check my Twitter. Yes, I think it may have to be called back. At present, it doesn't seem to rise very much, and there is some stagflation. Have you sold it at present? How I plan to sell it in the next few days because I found that I lacked motivation and didn't have much money to pay attention to it. Some random Chinese characters. May I have your name? Where are you located? So I replied, I sold it all and bought GME shares with my profit. Am I doing it right? No response. So about an hour later, I was like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking shill. How much did Mayo Ken pay you to message people about stonks? $20 a shill attempt? You're fucking pathetic. So then I get back. Complete tone change here. Oh, you're pathetic. Poor kid. I've emptied my AMC. Besides, you're as unwise as a mad dog. I hold CEI and AEI, you stupid son of a bitch. Stupid ignorance, hubris, blockhead, some screenshot of some fake holdings that he probably doesn't have. Stupid people without heads. Shit, go back to your mother and drink milk. Weird how much you changed the way you message when I called you out for being a fucking paid shill. Tell Ken I want my GD money, bitch. Oh, and while you're at it, tell Stevie to pay up too. Yeah, that's what I thought. Fucking bitch. Like, I literally got shilled.
This GME stuff, some serious business up in here.
You know you're doing something right when you're getting messages like that.
Probably at this point, you're probably one of their top investors.
Negative. Dude, have you seen?
Joe doesn't financial anything, so no, he has not seen.
Bro, there's people with thousands of shares that are transferring to computer share and registering their shares. Like, I'm telling you, dude, you need to go read some of this, DD. You will change your tone about GameStop.
No. Not for me, man. It's not for me.
Not for you. Well, you know, let me ask you, Joe. What color Lambo do you want?
Matte black.
Matte black. Got it. You don't get a Lambo. Fuck you. You were late.
Platinum.
No.
Platinum. Damn.
Unless you've got your own GME shares, you ain't getting a damn Lambo.
I'll punch you in the dick.
I ain't scared of you, man.
With a C-U-H. Dick.
Anyway, that's all I got. And
that's all I got. You got anything, Cody?
It doesn't matter. He was 2 hours late. His opinion is irrelevant today.
I was making money.
Yeah,
I don't care what you were doing.
Oh, well, that's part
You
of my
told
job.
us you would be here.
Capitalism.
I'm here.
Baby. Capitalism.
2 hours late.
Here.
Doesn't matter.
Here.
You're late.
Here.
He didn't say what time he'd be here. He just said he'd be late.
Oh, no. He messaged me and said, I will be at the podcast Saturday.
I'm here.
He is.
Podcast was over when he got here.
No.
Almost.
Pretty much.
Financial corner.
But he didn't say he would be here when it was beginning or in the middle or when it was over.
Disgraceful.
He just said he'd be here.
I even told y'all before it started. Come on, man. That really needs to be changed. That is
It really
like
does.
obnoxious.
All right. Well, I'm Joe.
The fuck are you doing?
You're supposed to go, I'm Justin. And he goes supposed to go, I'm Cody. We all go, and we are Embers of Liberty. Tally ho, lads.
No, that's not how we've ever done this.
Well, I was hoping you would just kind of
Like
feed
ever.
off of
No.
it. I was hoping you'd feed off of it, but it didn't.
Your improv did not work.
Run with it.
Yeah.
Run with it.
Yeah. You ruined it.
Actually-
Cody was already feeling it. And then,
Like,
and then
it
you
was
just-
happening. It
you
had like a
blocked it.
bro connection going
You
on, man.
blocked it.
Yeah.
Put some dang contact cleaner on you.
No.
Like compressed air and blow his contacts off or something.
First off, no. Second off,
Stay here.
it's been real fun, guys. I'm Justin.
I'm Joe.
And I'm late.
Correct. And until next week, tally ho, lads.